Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of AFRO Live. I am so elated, and y'all know, as I like to say, fangirling, because I am chatting today and catching up with the amazingly talented, captivating, warm Demetria McKinney. I love her so much. I love her as an all around artist, as an actor, of course, and many of us have been following her for a number of years, from House of Pain to now A House Divided. But I love your singing voice as well, and I hope we can talk a little bit about your work as a musical artist.
I hope so too.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's just dive on in. How are you doing? We're in the middle of a pandemic still, which is insane. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling blessed, and very much aware. I think that this pandemic has brought to light the need for structure and the need for what's the words that I'm looking for? The need to prioritize. Uh, Being a working actress in this environment was something that really, really scared me when everything first popped off. And now I'm sitting here in Vancouver, still living the dream, still with A House Divided being the longest show so far on All Black. I have zero complaints.
Amazing. And first of all, congratulations on all that A House Divided is bringing, from
Yeah.
Emmy nominations to just these great conversations and further conversations about, where we are, not only as Black people, but sort of how we're represented. I think the Sanders family shows a very different world than what we're accustomed to for African American lives.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, tell us a little bit about that. How you, we meet you first episode in the first season, and now you're on season 4. Tell us a little bit about your journey, on A House Divided, and that's Carissa.
Oh, wow. Getting the script for the very first time from Mr. Dan Garcia, I read it and it was crazy because, like, I'm looking at the end and the way you could have seen the question mark hovering over my head. Like, did I just kill somebody? Like, what am I about to be in this show? But that was so exciting because I'm so used to being the good girl or the hope, one carrying the torch to kind of get to the next side of through. Carissa has no intention, no plans on being good. Like, it's just not for her at all. So from season 1, she came in as a baddie and she's turned and evolved and morphed into more of a savage each season. Now season 3, she kind of had to sit down a little bit. They patted her on the little tush a little bit, the
Mhm.
FBI and all of that. But since she's had time to sit in her orange jumpsuit, she's come up with some new plots and plans. So they kind of messed themselves up.
For sure. And it's interesting because Carissa's not a character we're supposed to like, right? But for
No.
some reason in season 4, when she's making people feel bad about her mom, having her mama dying early, and having to grow up, you see all of these nuances and layers that you're like, why do I feel bad for this lady? you know how
That
do
has
you
been
do
the biggest, that has made my head pop off the most. Like, I really did not expect to be rooted for in all of the nonsense and mayhem that I'm causing on the show. But I think it also does lend to why empathy is so important in everyday life. I ain't saying that she's got an excuse, but
that?
now we understand some of the reasoning for why she is who she is. Losing her mother, her father's situation, and what he kind of put her through, and what that mentality will bring about. So yeah, you scrolling through the comments and you're like, ooh, I kind of did some nonsense today. Let's see what the folks talking about. And they're like, y'all ain't gonna hold Carissa down. I'm like, but they didn't. Like, people died. How's this happening? But it's so cool. It's so cool.
It is. I know that you are learning and having a good time and growing from this show. As someone
Yeah.
who has seen your work and admired your work for quite some time, I can also see that. But
Thank you.
I wonder, you're working with folks who have been in the game for 3, 4 decades, five
Yeah.
decades, thinking, like a Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering how you're able to bounce off of them and grow from their work, as well as, give them a run for their money. Because I see you pushing Lawrence in these scenes. He's raising these scenes.
The thing is, you're absolutely right. I saw the cast list even before Miss Lisa Ray was joining us, and I was just so ready for the opportunity to learn, not just from Mr. Jacobs, but from everybody, like even the newer people. Like, I'm watching all of these performances and I'm watching these transitions that everybody's making, these choices that they're choosing. And I'm like, yo, that was kind of dope, but I did that, man, what's happening? So, and the other part of it is Mr. Larry Jacobs has been so kind from the absolute beginning. And it's beautiful to walk in and see the people that you've watched forever and always will be down to earth and be receptive to what you're trying to bring, and also congratulate you when they feel like you're doing a good job. Now, let me be real honest with you. You see this figurehead to come out, right? When they said Alexis was coming into the show, I was like, oh, okay. You better make sure you find the right one, because I done got comfortable in my savage. You know what I'm saying? Yes. They said, yeah, we got Lisa Ray. What? Oh, cool. I remember the Players Cup fight. Yeah. All right. I remember single. Okay. And I've met her a few times, and she's always been super cool. So getting on set with her, and she's as cool as they get, right? So when we're doing things like the fight scene, I'm like, yo, I'm supposed to act like I'm gonna hit you. I'm not gonna touch you, but I'm supposed to act like. She's like, nah, let's go. I was word, and everything was just free. Like, the creative space is open all the way around, and I'm so grateful for that.
It shows. It really shows. I mean, I'm always sitting there like, are they really hurting each other? Or how are they doing this? They're so into this. It's such a joy, despite some of the really dark things happening. It's such a joy to watch. Truly,
it's a joy to do. Like, even as we're filming, we go over and we're like, yeah, but if we could just do one more take, because I just got a new idea. We've been on this take for 2 hours. I know, right? What's another 10 minutes? Like, you're constantly discovering. First off, the writing is it's provocative. Like, it really provokes and evokes emotion within you. And then the trust factor between Dan and the people that he has cast, and his directors, honesty, Mike Mayhall. It's just so collaborative, and I think that's what's breathing such life into this show.
Absolutely. Again, I think the collaboration shows it really. It looks like a team process all the way through.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, because I know that you all launched in summer 2019, and then you've been renewed season after season after season. However, there's been a pandemic in the middle of all of this craziness. How do you guys do this? How do we get to the place in which it looks like y'all are functioning normally in this world? And has it been a push, sort of losing some of the close interconnectivity that you've had, I'm sure, with your cast prior to having to, be social distance and masked up when the camera is off?
I think because we started with a healthy respect for the work, we just compounded the respect for the situation. Nobody wants to get sick. Nobody, 1, 2, 3, not it. I will not be the one that invades the set with the thing out there. You know what I mean? So everybody understood what the assignment was, and we executed it. Everybody's wearing their mask, everybody's doing their chill thing, but we found different ways to connect. I'll be sitting chilling at home, not thinking about nothing, and here goes Mr. Jacobs, like, hey, just wanted to check on you. You still good? You healthy? Everything cool? All right, I'll see you next season, hopefully. You know what I mean? So I think because it became such a family unit, nobody wants their family to get any of that damage. Nobody wants to take away that check. Hallelujah, right? Ooh. So again, it's just the collaboration is through and through. Each phase, each level, each tier, we're on it together, and the mindset is just the most important thing.
And so you talk about the family vibe that you all have outside of the show itself. And yes, this is not the first family that we've seen you a part of. The last one, you had a different struggle, a different situation.
Yes.
I'm curious what it's like, being in a different kind of family, a different sort of vibe, a different director, right? In the
Yeah.
production company. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the great differences and variations that you found in working in these separate families?
That's a great question. With each role that I go after, and I say go after because I don't always get them, Jesus. But each role that I go after is something that I feel like I can grow from and can inspire me and teach a lesson. If it's teaching me, I'm trusting that at least one or two people are going to be touched by it. Whether it's don't do drugs in one house and don't kill people in the other, like there's something for everybody. But getting the opportunity to work with different cast members and different storylines and different characters and different directors, that's all, oh my gosh, I'm soaking it in. You understand, you too are a thespian.
Yes.
So we thrive on the opportunity to just sit and people watch. And when you get to people watch while being the people you watching, like what better world is that? So it's also inspired some other things for me personally. I am now looking at the directorial space because I've worked with some amazing people within the last few years that not only saw potential, but encouraged me to pursue the other opportunities that may or may not be available. It's just when you see that you're able to hop into these different houses, you understand that there's no house too big. And I think that's the biggest part of this. Like I get to explore the world without leaving anywhere.
Come on, somebody.
Yeah, Disney did.
I love it. I was going to leave the theater acting Hollywood world, but I got to ask one more question, which is, so what is that exploration of the director's hat been like for you? It's a totally different part of that world. Why have you been attracted, and what do you feel will come from that?
Well, I've always watched the people who are true architects, right? Like it started with Mr. Tyler Perry, just moving in a way that nobody else was doing, believing in himself, seeing the vision and seeing it through, and then inviting people on the journey. Like that was the beginning. That was foundational for me. And then as I've worked with different people, especially in two of the houses that I'm currently in, with the House Divided, me and Honesty, one of our directors there, she was like, yo, you ever thought about directing? I was like, look, I need you to slow down. We just shut all of this stuff and you need this. She's like, nah, but you tripping. Like you need to be doing this. And I can shadow you. And I'm like, okay, this is a lot for me right now. Just give me a moment. Let me reset and we'll revisit. And so now I'm here in Vancouver shooting Motherland Fort Salem. And one of our producing directors is this wonderful, wonderful woman named Miss Amanda Tapping. And she came from our world. She was an actress. And now she's in this space. And she always made it feel like there was a human directing you instead of you're being directed by a human. That flip let me know, oh, I can still be myself and still be a team leader and still da 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 da. Because there are moments where you're sitting there and you're getting this direction from somebody and you're like, yo, I don't agree with that choice. Can we talk about it? Can we da 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 da? And in essence, you're already putting that hat on for just a brief moment, respectfully.
Yeah.
And then you take it back off and you go back into it. So I think really seeing some of the women leadership that I've been under lately has sparked a couple of flames within me.
That is so encouraging to hear. And I hope the people out there are as encouraged by that as well. Because what we get in sort of the world of trying to tap into all that you were doing is that, oh, well, we don't see enough women. We don't see enough Black people. We don't see enough brown people, And so doing these interviews combats those stereotypes and
absolutely
gives us hope. So thank you. That is so encouraging. So now let's get into the music world. Okay. I know, again, as an artist, it never leaves you. You're all doing it at once. And just as you so eloquently said, even you're putting on that director's hat when you don't necessarily realize, and then you take it off. And so I know you're always a musical artist. Yeah. However, tell us a little bit about your journey in the music industry. We know, I know that you've done musical theater as well, and so the
Mhm.
two have combined so beautifully. But also, what music we can hear from you soon and next.
So it all started when I was 7. No, I've always been into music.
Mhm.
And in large part, I don't think anybody can say they know me and not say that they know Whitney Houston was the catalyst for that.
Mm.
Growing up, there were some things that were less than awesome. And when I didn't know how to express myself, I would turn on music, and Whitney's voice would either soothe or sound off. You know what I'm saying? So that became a an outlet for me. I was always an artist. I was doing some artwork and stuff, and that was my original major. But I was always in church. And so I was singing in there, I was leading the choirs, I was directing the choirs, and as things went on, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to evoke in some minute way, even some of the stuff that Whitney Houston made me feel.
Mm.
And never wanted to act. Ironic plot twist there. Never wanted to act. It was just an outlet to get to the big picture for me. The people managing me was like, let's get involved in this stage play. I was like, all right. But they had a moment of singing in there. So I was like, okay, I could do that. I could do that. And then boom, Mr. Tyler Perry is there in the midst of 50 people. So with the music, I've had the champagne problem of the work continuing to come in, which means I have less time to do the music. Like I'm still here in Vancouver. I'm here like 6 to 8 months out of the year filming Motherland. So it's like, okay, by the time I get in the studio, find the material I want, record it, get it ready, perform it, get to the radio, do the social stuff, for it, I'm already back here.
Yeah.
So what I don't want to do is just put out something just to have it out. I want to make sure that I'm really investing my time and giving the time worthy of it, because that's the truest form of me that people are going to get. Like, y'all can love Carissa. I'm glad y'all do. But Dee Dee ain't out here killing people. I ain't wrecking no families. I don't do that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I get in there, I really want to be able to give it the all that I give to everything else.
Mm. Oh, I love, love, love that. I have all the chills. I could talk to you forever and a day. I hope we can
Oh,
make
you're
that happen
awesome.
where at least you come back. But since you're in Vancouver, Motherland is ABC Freeform's amazing new, I guess, newest or newer pieces, and you are again just such a joy to watch and explore. And so I'm curious. Tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing on Motherland, and maybe what else is coming up for you and the whole world that is Demetria McKinney.
Wow. I love A House Divided because Carissa is Carissa. Like, she is a very, very standalone entity in my career. And I can honestly say the same thing for Anacostia, who I play in Motherland, Fort Salem. I'm a military brat, so I understand the world, but there's this magic and there is this girl power to it that I have never experienced in a show.
Mm.
Because, you can get with a bunch of women, real housewives, and it doesn't necessarily go so great. So being here and being able to transition into this world where my voice really has power, like
Mhm.
tangible power, and getting to see that vulnerability is not taken as a weakness, it's a strength, and it's part of what empowers you to be able to grow and build and work, and then to go from here for 6 months, 8 months, and then go back to A House Divided and know that I can take off those military boots, put on that bad suit and that heel, bro, and go, slice somebody up right quick. It's just so great. I'm having a great time playing between the two worlds.
Ah, it I can only imagine that it's pulling you in, you pushing you in such a fun and amazing way, but it's so great as an audience member to watch you and these in a very bipolar kind of
Yes. Yes. As I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm like, dog, it's two of me in there. Yeah, you are very correct.
Yes. Well, I just cannot thank you enough for sharing all these beautiful, wonderful facets of your talent and artistry. And so as we wrap. Well, first of all, before I even ask this question, hello to Shonda and Byron and all of you viewers out there. Angel, Kevin, we see you and we appreciate you and
Thank
love your
you.
comments. And look, Shonda is like clearly like me, just like watching everything that you're doing and making sure that she lets you know that she
Oh,
is
thank
here for
you.
your work. So, Shonda, we see you, sis. We see you, Queen. Thank you for tuning in and your support. Last question I have for you is, you have been on this grind for quite some time. It's so inspiring to see your journey in the arts world. And I'm curious if you have any advice for other aspiring artists who might feel a little bit discouraged because they keep getting those no's or aren't getting that contract that they really want.
Can we just take a moment for that because it is the realist? Um, that's why I said earlier, when I go for things because I don't always get it. And I wanted to say that because people think once you get on something as successful as a House of Pain or as successful as a House Divided or a Motherland Fort Salem, that automatically it's go time. This is a business. No is a huge part of it. Okay. So the thing that I would tell people who want to be in this, you got to do this, not for the fame, not for the fortune, not for the notoriety, not for the clout. You got to do this because you can't not do it. I have to stress that. Like the fame, the money, it's not always going to be there. Stack your chips because once one job ends, you are technically unemployed. Huh? They don't tell you that. You're unemployed. You're sitting there trying to figure out where your next thing. You're constantly in the audition rotation. Like it is a constant hustle. So if you're not prepared to say, I am in this because I can't not do it, hold off until you are. Because it's going to get hard. It's going to be really, really difficult. Competition is stiff. Your ability to really transform and everything may not be as important as who you know. There you may not have the look, but you have the talent. Like there are so many different things that work behind the scenes that you don't get access to. So keep on your grind, but understand that if you're going to be in this, be in it because you can't not be.
Y'all heard it first. I'm about to take these notes and apply it to my life and journal real quick after this. Because it's real and
Yeah.
as Dr. Carlene said, great insight. I mean, I have a lot of thinking to do after this conversation because you've put some things into perspective in such a way where you don't realize how much work we are already doing, right? We don't realize
Right.
the groundwork that we're putting in and the foundations that we're laying. But again, and until we know that this is the grind that we have to do, we're not going to get
Right.
to where we need to be. And so, Demetria McKinney, everybody. I just this is why she is she is. Now we know.
You are amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful you asked that question.
Thank you. Thank you for everything. Again, your transparency, for your artistry, for you just being you and your hard work and grind. It is because of that we are gifted with your just amazing talent and these great stories of these people that you bring to life. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Is there anything else the people should know? Some plugs we should put in before we bid them adieu?
There's a couple of things. I have to shout out the Demetrians. They have been rocking with me since Black Planet and MySpace. Thank you for all that you do to support
Throwback
me.
Thursday.
What? Thank you all so much. Aisha, Shell, Sydney, all of y'all. Alexandria, you all know who you are. Thank you so, so much. I want y'all to continue to be safe. It's still out there. Let's make sure we protect each other. And last but not least, come see me thugging out at a House Divided on All Black. Like, I don't know if y'all ain't caught up yet, but that's what you need to be doing because you got time now, don't you?
Yes, and y'all, it really is worth that catch up. I mean, for me, I can't not be caught up because then I start itching just a little bit.
I see what you just did there.
I tried. Anyway, look, y'all, this is what you do when artists get in the same room together. We cut up like this.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And you take care. You continue to be safe and take care of you because we need you.
Same to you. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.